because the way this foundation is settled, pushed out, and the way this is, I'm just making do with what little I have to make this thing work. This isn't the Taj Mahal, this is a barn. So I'm using the existing door that I took off the front of the house, replaced new. There's really no rhyme or reason to buy a brand new door, and anything's got to be better than what that is. So I'm just literally going to frame around it. I do need to check the square. It looks kind of like the top might not be square, but that could be the barn as well too. So just kind of put the door frame, the old one in, just to kind of see where it's at. I know what the measurements are. The rough 36-inch door is what it is, standard. So we'll just go from there. Alright, so yes, it's not traditional. Yes, it's not the way you put in a door. Okay, I get that. I do this stuff for a living. There's no load over this due to it being a 1940 barn, and this has always been here this way. So I'm just filling in the gap is all I'm doing, and I'm just throwing up a rough frame for a door. So as you can see, I'll show you on the inside. So it's all whopper jaw here because the barn is not square, so you can definitely see up here between this gap, or at least I can. It seems like it's higher there on this side than it is here, or there's a less gap here, there's more of a gap here. Well, that's correct, because the slab on the barn has not moved, but the wall here has moved and it's settled. I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, it's been this way since 1950. Obviously it's settled. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run some cross bracing in there and in there, and then I'll run a board over the top. Now there's a header up here. It's really dark, you can't see. There's a header, and it's literally lag bolted into the side. And once again, there's no weight over this door. So like I said, I'm basically just plugging a hole is all I'm doing. So I know there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to like the way I'm doing it or whatnot. Once again, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So once again, when I first started this, I made really sure to tell people, or to say, that the way I do things is not necessarily going to be A, the right way, or B, the way you would do it. That's just what it is. So I'm doing this with materials that I have not spent a penny on, stuff that's been left over from other job sites that I've done, things like that. So, and once again, I'm just plugging a hole. Anything's got to be better than a couple pieces of tin and some rotten boards. This is going to be 10 times nicer than this barn's probably ever seen. And you know, people probably are like, well, why don't you just do it right and spend the money, buy a new door, frame it out like it's supposed to be, fix the foundation. Well, I don't have that time and I don't have that money. So what I need to do is I'm doing with what I'm dealt with, and it's going to be completely fine for us. So like I said, everything we do here isn't necessarily going to be your way or the right way in the world. We're doing what we're doing the way we do it is basically it's what we can do and what we need to do to keep moving and to keep getting stuff done. You know, like I said, this doorway frame area it's not going to hold this whole barn up. If this thing wants to fall down, it would have probably already fell down. You know, now there are some other stuff down the main alley, or what I call the main alley, the main portion of the barn, where I've gone in and I have put some concrete pillars in the ground, and I have reset some of the old timber posts, and then I've lagged them in with structural screws. You know, that sort of stuff I'm not going to mess with. I'm going to do that the right way. But something like this is minimal. It's literally a door that's going to open and shut, and it's going to be 10 times weatherproof than what that is. I will end up lagging that bottom treated board. Not that it's going to be much. It's probably going to be 2 concrete screws, just glue screwed right into the pad of the foundation. This is the only room, minus our indoor coop area, that has a slab. So past that, and we've got to do some filling in. There used to be an old trench drain in here. It's clogged. It doesn't even work. So you know, not right now, but maybe down the road, if I get, you know, some bags of Quikrete or whatnot, I might just fill that in so we're not tripping over it eventually, and maybe possibly just this hole for now. I don't know. Right now the goal is just to get this to where I can take that door off, and then we actually have a man door that works good. I know some of you are looking at my jankety wooden ladder. Yes, it's pretty jankety. It's pretty small, it's wobbly, but it's a barn ladder. Yes, I do own nice ladders as nice tools. Obviously, I'm a contractor, so don't fault me. I just like using the jankety ladder. So this side is 92.5. This side is like 90 7/8. So that just tells you how much everything has settled and shifted. All right, so I've gone ahead and drilled the concrete, or through the wood and to the concrete. And I'm just going to fasten with glue screws. I don't think it's going anywhere. Next, I'm going to put some boards up here to receive this OSB sheeting, chipboard, glued board, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll probably end up putting a 2x4 on the back side of the jam just to reinforce where the hinges are going to go for now. And then at a later time, I'll sheet it with some barn pin we got out back. Kind of plug a hole. Not sure. I know it wasn't our grandparents that decided to paint the barn, but it was a relative, and I personally think it's a horrible idea. Even if your stuff looks like that. Over here you can see the chicken coop run that I built on our current chicken coop, which, by the way, we started to pad, as you can see, for our next run, and that'll be coming soon because we have chicks in the brooder. You've been seeing probably some updates on it, Instagram, Facebook. I might have posted a short on YouTube as well. So. So the only thing you've missed on the video is I just basically hung the door. I just went and got it, and I didn't have enough hands to turn the camera on, set everything down, and I just screwed it in. I don't have any doorknobs. I thought I had a pack somewhere, but I'll have to find them. But it opens and shuts, it swings, it seals. So like I said, we're not looking for the Taj Mahal. We're just looking for something that's functional and works. So now I'm just gonna add some scrap of this stuff laying around, so it's not gonna go all the way to the top, but we're gonna get close. Go. Closed up. Need to find a doorknob, dead bolt somewhere. Not that I'm going to lock it, it's just something to keep it latched shut. But a lot better than that old metal door that honestly just flapped in the wind. We did put a hook latch on it, but it's just a pain. This way it's not sealed up, but it's way more sealed up than that. You know, nothing's ever 100% sealed. So there it is. So I'm sure I'll have to do some more work when I tin it, and obviously short out. It's a little bit, there's a difference in thickness on this side to that side, but just the way the concrete is, so I could get into the bottom. That way that bottom wouldn't move at all on the door. No, I can't think of the name of it, but the strip there, the floor plate, whatever you want to call it, threshold. There you go, threshold. That way it's on the concrete, it's solid. I will end up putting a little foam around it. There you go, it opened up on its own. So that tells you that it works. But I'll end up putting some foam around it just to help closing the gaps and kind of marry it all together as one unit. So like I said, later down the road we'll get this tin. Probably not too far. I don't know if it'll be this week. We've got some good weather coming up here. It's been 30s, 20s at night, and then it gets up to about 40. Tomorrow they're actually calling, I think, for a high of 60, and then by this weekend they're looking around 70-ish. So hopefully we can get this cold weather, cool weather out of here, and we can move slowly on the spring, and then I'm sure we'll have our third or fourth winter for Kansas. So But other than that, stay tuned for more projects, and we'll kind of continue on this as we go. We're getting ready to get all the materials for our chicken coop. I've got a bunch of used lumber and stuff we'll be using. Like I said, we try to use as much used as we can around here. That way it doesn't break the bank. We're not spending a lot of money. However, we do, try to make it structurally sound, this, that, and the other. So, in previous videos you've seen, I did some dirt work. It was a really bad slope. So we kind of wanted to get it back up a grade, kind of where our other coop is. We're going to be putting quite a bit bigger size coop here for our barred Plymouth Rock chicks that we have. You can see that we have a few barred Plymouth Rock in our flock right now. Thus far we have 6 roosters, which we're going to be separating them out as well. These haven't quite started producing eggs, basically any minute now. We don't want fertilized eggs from these folks here. So what I'm going to be doing now is we're going to be making a chicken yard with just some fencing that I've got laying around here at the farm and some used T-posts. So let's get into it. You can see on the radar, rain's kind of here and there. Although we have some clear skies, I think it's just going to last for maybe a couple minutes, little droplets. Well, it started raining a little bit harder than I thought, so the camera in the barn. So now it's letting up. So I'm just going to leave you right there. Well, that pretty much sums up all the posts. So I'm gonna put a gate in somewhere, and then I'll put a larger gate right down here at the bottom, So I need to get the skid steer in here. Obviously I'm going to for materials, but this is just a kind of a temporary. I'm not for sure if we're gonna like it, but we're just gonna see how this works. Contain them a little bit, but let them out. And we've been having to chase them from down the trees, and I'll just kind of show you over there. All these trees and thickets, not necessarily a bad thing, but now they're on the other side of the barn. But we'll get this temporary fencing up for now and give them a little bit more space to run and scratch. I do plan on planting some clover, maybe some grass on all this. Obviously I need to get something planted for the slope, but we'll go from there.
And that's going to wrap up today here at Muddy Creek Farmstead. Days like this reminds us why we choose this life. It's not always easy, and it's definitely not always clean, but watching our boys, just 7 and 4 years old, out there picking up sticks, helping clear the yard, and learning how to work together makes every bit of it worth it. Out here, chores are more than chores. There are lessons in responsibility. There are lessons in patience, and most importantly, there are lessons in teamwork. Big brother lending a hand with kindness. Little brother learning that even small hands can make big differences. Those are the moments that matter most to us. The farm has a way of slowing things down and teaching things that can't always be explained. Hard work, grit, encouragement, and the value of standing side by side to get the job done. We're thankful we get to raise our boys in a place where muddy boots and helping hands are a part of everyday life. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with our family. We truly appreciate every view, every comment, and every bit of support as we continue building this farmstead one project at a time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow along as we share more of our journey here at Muddy Creek Farmstead. We'll see you in the next one.